Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Fundamental principles of material nature. So this is the topic we are covering now. Shri Krishna Balarama ki jai. Kapila Muni has started to explain about these things connected with fundamental principles of material nature. Sa esha prakritim sukshmam daivim gunamayim vibhuhu yadrichaya iva upagatam abhyapadyata leelaya. The Lord, for His leela, pastimes, yadrichaya, the way He wants, however He wants, because He is supremely independent, He creates this Gunamayim Mayam, which is Prakritim Sukshmam, the subtle material energy. So now, through this verse we can understand, actually, two energies are there of the Supreme Lord connected with this material world. Maybe if we take this example of a prison house, it will become easier for us to understand how sufficiently we have heard many times that this material world is compared to a prison house. Now, when the government wants to construct a prison house, so the construction is done by certain set of people. Imagine the prison house, the architects, the contractor, the laborers, mason, so many people, different people are involved in constructing that prison house, a jail. Now, that's one department which handles that construction department. Once the construction is done, everything is ready, then maybe in a very grand inaugural ceremony, the prison house is opened. Maybe the head of the state will come and grand ceremony, the prison will be opened. Opening ceremony will be there. After that, what will happen? The building, the prison house is handed over to maybe the police department or the prison head, whatever, it will be handed over to them. And after once they take charge, so they will apply the rules, regulations to govern the prison house in a certain specific way. Of course, all those rules, regulations will be in line with the purpose of that prison house, for the punishment of criminals, for reformation of people. So there is a purpose behind, which is set by the government. So to implement that purpose, the prison department, they will, whatever the rules are there, they will go accordingly to manage that, organize that prison house in that specific manner, for the purpose to satisfy the purpose of the government or the king. Because the government, they have got a big master plan. how to organize the entire society, of which this construction of the prison house, its maintenance, all of this is one little portion of the entire governance of the king. So there are many other departments, much more important departments for the king or the government to handle. Among all of them, this department is also one of them. So now, how there is one construction department which takes care of the construction of the building there, and there is this police department, whatever, the prison head, prison department to take care of the prisoners there. Likewise, the Lord, Prabhupada says this in the purport. There are two energies of the Lord. The energy emanated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead in two ways. As an emanation from the Supreme Lord and as a covering of the Lord's face. So one energy creates and another energy covers the face of the Lord, not to be seen by the living entities, which bewilders the living entities through Praksheta, Patmika, Avaranatmika Shakti. That energy which is Gunamayim, consisting of the three modes of material nature, covers the vision of the living entities towards the Supreme Lord. See now how the same, maybe with the metal or the prison, whatever, the same example if we take, there is a building there. When the construction is happening, there will be a lot of people coming and going in and out. There will be many people, the construction laborers may be staying there only in one of the rooms or somewhere there, taking care of the construction. Now once the inauguration is done, once it is handed over to that specific department, then is it that inside the prison, outside, anyone can walk in and out? No. And is that maybe before the inauguration, many people were staying there. At any given point of time, they could go out, come inside. Likewise, now if the prisoners inside, if they say, whenever I want, I'll walk out and come inside, will they be allowed? No, they will not be allowed. So, the department is another department that has taken charge. And all the restriction, everything is done to serve the purpose of the government. So, this is what? Gunamayi Maya. This Gunamayi Maya Shakti, energy of the Lord, its duty is specifically mentioned here. Now, the same Gunamayi Maya can be looked or is looked upon like say from two different perspectives. The perspective from Krishna's viewpoint, how Krishna looks at Maya, and the perspective from the vision of the living entities, how the living entities, conditioned living entities in this material world look upon Maya. Two completely different things. Which is the example given here to explain this? Two different perspectives how Maya is looked upon from the viewpoint of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from the viewpoint of the living entities. The cloud example. How the cloud is looked upon by the sun, how the cloud is looked upon from the living entities living in this earthly planet. The sun looks at the cloud and the sun can say that this is my energy. I, to my whatever enormous heat energy, evaporate water and convert it into clouds. And this cloud, see the sun, the position of the sun, the size of the sun, the capacity of the sun is enormous. Somewhere the sun has got the capacity to illuminate the entire universe. Millions of planets are there. So everywhere the sun's rays are being spread. In one of the planet, from one portion of the water body available there. Certain small quantity of water is evaporated and it is just hovering around somewhere a few kilometers from that whatever that planet there, and some whatever darkness it has created below it. From the sun's viewpoint, it is it's different. Millions of planets he is illuminating. One corner, one planet, a little cloud during certain specific season, that too, and below some darkness is created. It's nothing for the sun. It's his own energy. However he wants, he can deal with it also. On the other hand, for the living entity below that whatever cloud, oh, full of darkness, rainy season, from 1 week, 10 days, no sunlight, full cold, diseased condition, waiting when the sun will come, in a diseased condition, very cold, all of these things. Is waiting for the sun to appear. What can I do to associate with the sun? What can be done? Just be thinking, suffering will be there. So completely different viewpoints. To explain this, like again, many other examples are given by Srila Prabhupada. One more example let us take. How the example of one house owner and one passer, you or any other person, trespassing and entering that house. Imagine there is a person, he has gone to his friend's house, but without informing. Without informing, he has opened the gate, entered his compound and doing something there. Within few minutes, what will happen? One dog starts barking and coming towards him. And the dog starts chasing him. And this person wants to run and escape, but the dog is too fast. It has come and caught hold of his, maybe his dhoti or whatever is this thing, and it's not leaving. And this man is trying to push away the dog, but the dog is very strong. It is not leaving him at all. What can that person do? What would he do? He has entered his own friend's house and his friend's dog only has come and caught him. What will he do? Call his friend. Oh, my dear friend, please come and help. Your dog has caught me. It is biting me. Come and help me. Give me relief from your dog. So when your friend from inside the house, he hears your cry, immediately he may come out. Tommy, choo-choo, some sound he'll make. Immediately the dog will wag its tail, leave you and go towards the master. And if at all is your close friend, your friend, he may tell the dog also, do namaste for him. Some trained dogs, they will stand and do some gestures welcoming you also. It's there in the hands of your friend, that owner of the dog. It is your mistake that you have trespassed and entered without permission and doing something there. From our viewpoint, oh, the dog, unable to get release from the dog, that dog is too strong, very difficult, and you are suffering, crying, it is biting, oh, very painful condition. But from the viewpoint of your friend, it is his own dog. Whatever he wants, he can do with it. The dog will just listen to him. If he says again the dog may come and attack you. Again, if he wants, he can give you release from that dog. So likewise, Maya is completely under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However he wants, he can act with that energy. If he wants, he can put that energy like living entities under this Maya for reformation, for punishment. If he wants, at any given point of time, he can give release from that same Maya. So this is the power or the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which we are supposed to understand. So that's the example given here, how the clouds from the perspective of the sun and from the perspective of living entities below. We cannot move the clouds, it's not in our hands. But the sun, however he wants, he can deal with it. One more point we can connect here, how somehow or the other, if we can elevate above the clouds, especially if we travel in an airplane, we have got this experience, how it travels maybe above the clouds. And what will happen if you see the sky, if you look at it around, full illumination is there, sunshine is there. The clouds are there below. You will not be able to see also plants, trees, houses, people, nothing. The clouds will be there below. So if we elevate above the clouds, then this cloud will not act as a barrier in our vision or in our association with the sun, with the Supreme Lord. But of course here, there is one set of people, the Mayavadis. What do they say? Somehow if I can go above the clouds, I will also become sun. I will also become one with the sun. But no, this is completely wrong. You can go there. See, the cloud is there. Even after whatever crossing the level of the cloud, the sun, again it is so far away. It's not easy. If at all you want to reach the sun should come and pick you up, only then you can go there. Just because I have sat in an airplane, put some petrol there and whatever crossed the clouds, if at all I think I have become one with the sun, I have become the sun, that means we are under illusion still, which is not possible. If at all you want to associate with the sun, then you should act in certain way. The sun god will come and pick you up, only then you can go there. With just some aeroplane, whatever, you put some this thing and go there. No, till the time some petrol is there, you will be hovering around there, and once the petrol is over, again you will have to come back to this material world. Again become subjugated by the three modes of material nature. So the process is surrender to the Lord. When He picks you up, then it's very easy. Mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. The process is, by surrendering to the Lord, easily we'll be able to overcome this maya. This is another point. One more point Srila Prabhupada makes in the purport is how the darkness cannot cover the sun. The existence of darkness is dependent on the sun, whereas the existence of the sun is not dependent on the darkness. This is another important point. Just like where darkness can exist, in somewhere in some cave, some deep inside one cave is there where sunlight is not coming, there some darkness, an artificial position will be created there. Because darkness also, just like see, imagine now the morning time, if at all we want to make this temple room dark, it's not easy. We'll cover each and maybe earlier times and all, in Bhagavatam class here or in cultural, it was there. Old projector we had. Very dim projection light used to be there. We had to cover the windows, close all the doors, make complete dark. We have to struggle for that. Okay, somehow think with all that endeavor you make this room dark. If it all the same task, if it is given maybe on the terrace of this, we will project something there, make it dark, it will become very, very tedious task. So now which is origin, darkness or light? For that, if we refer the previous verse, wherein it is said, Anadiratma Purusho Nirgunaha Prakriteh Paraha Pratyak Dhama Swayam Jyotir Vishvam Yena Samanvitam. the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Pratyak Dhama, He is perceivable everywhere, and He is Swayam Jyotihi, self-effulgent. So this condition, the Supreme Lord is eternal, His Swayam Jyoti is eternal, the illumination is eternal. On that illumination, all the planets are being sustained, maintained. So this is natural condition. The darkness what we see in the material world is an artificial condition created for some specific purpose. It is just in a small corner. In one corner of a cave somewhere in the mountain, little darkness you can find. But otherwise, natural condition is illumination. The Lord is there, He is Swayam Jyotihi. Unlimited, whatever radiance is emanating from His body. There is no darkness there. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakara. Krishna is like the sun, Maya is like darkness. Yahan Krishna Tara Mayara Na Adhikar. Wherever Krishna is there darkness cannot exist. This is another point we need to see. Likewise, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we say, we have heard sufficiently that it is the Surya of Satchidananda. It is compared to the Surya of eternality, knowledge and blissfulness. So if any living entity associates with this Surya of Satchidananda, son of the Satchidananda, then where is the place for Asat, Achit and Nirananda? There is no room for it. If at all in the life of a devotee there is Asat, Achit, Nirananda, unhappiness, means what? We are not associating with the Surya of Satchidananda. The Lord in His various manifestations, He is available here in the form of His holy name, especially in the form of His deity incarnation, in the form of Bhagavatam. He is available. That is Son of Satchidananda. The sun. There is no darkness there. Darkness cannot exist in front of the sun. If at all there is darkness that means we are inside some cave. Sitting inside the cave, some darkness, whatever we are experiencing. And it's a diseased condition. So what is the solution for that? Just come out of that cave. Expose yourself to the sun. That's the treatment. Just like even that, so they tell some vitamin D or something, sunlight, all those things are there. Just sitting inside the room in darkness and taking those tablets, whatever, some vitamins. Because of that, some other problems also will keep facing, simply confusion. Avoid all these things, somehow struggle and come out of the darkness, come out of the cave. All the sun is there, expose yourself, then the darkness, the material disease will be gone. So this is the solution. So this is where a sadhaka, a practitioner has to endeavor somehow or the other to associate with the Lord in His various manifestations. If this is done, then we are in touch with the Surya of Satchidananda. There is no room for darkness. In the second paragraph, Prabhupada speaks about like one portion from the Bhagavatam in the first canto, wherein this is vividly described about Maya. In another place in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto, 7th chapter, it is stated that Vyasadeva, by his spiritual vision, saw the Supreme Lord and the material energy standing behind him. This indicates that material energy cannot cover the Lord, just as darkness cannot cover the sun. So this refers to those specific, very important verses which describes about Maya. So when Vyasadeva sat for meditation in pure consciousness, devotional service, Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak pranihite amale apashyat purusham purnam mayacha tad apashrayam. In devotional meditation he sat and he was able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and not just him, he also saw mayamcha tad apashrayam. Apashrayam, Prabhupada translates it as under full control. Maya, that Maya is not in front of the Lord, covering the vision. No. Where is Maya? Behind the Lord. That is her place, that's her position. And she is fully under the control of the Supreme Lord. But this specific Maya, what does she do? Vyasadeva continues to say, Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam paropi manute anartham tatkritam chabhipadyate. By this Maya, what will happen? Sammohito jiva. Living entities are put under illusion by this energy known as Maya. Paropi manute anartham. Though the living entity is superior, they consider this material body to be themselves, and tatkritam chabhipadyate, they are put into distressful condition. So, and he continues to say, Anartha upashamam sakshat bhakti yogam adokshaje lokasya ajanato vidvan chakre satvata samhitam. The people, living entities who are subjugated under Maya, lokasya ajanataha, they don't know how to overcome that, this illusory energy, this Maya. That's why this Vidwan Vedavyasa has compiled this Satvata Samhita, this Bhagavata. What will happen to this Bhagavatam? Yasyam vai shruyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktir Utpadyate Pumsaha Shoka Moha Bhaya Apaha. That message which is given in this Bhagavatam, Yasyam vai shruyamanayam, when these living entities who are subjugated by Maya, they give oral reception for hearing the message of Bhagavatam, what will happen? Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktir Utpadyate. In that living entity's heart, devotion towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead arises. And once the Lord arises in the heart of the devotee, Shoka Moha Bhaya Apaha. All lamentation, distressful condition, illusion, bhaya, fear, everything apaha. Everything is removed. Under the cloud, we are suffering. Just go elevate yourself above the cloud, full illumination is there, sunlight is there, associate with the sun, all your diseased condition will be gone. So this is the recommendation given by Vyasadeva in Bhagavatam. This is the position of Maya, position of Maya in relation with the Supreme Lord, position of Maya in relation with the living entities under her subjugation. So if we are aware of these things, then it becomes easy for us. It should provide, or it should act as an impetus for us to follow the prescribed way, somehow or the other, to come out of the clutches of Maya. Because this is not normal condition of a living entity. This is abnormal condition, ghostly, haunted condition of the living entity. So we should come out of that haunted condition, then we'll be able to relish our natural condition of being servant of the Supreme Lord, eternally being engaged in the Lord's service. So this is the natural condition of a living entity. But this Maya, continuously she is watching us and trying to pull us down. Another one, like say Prabhupada, in one of this thing, when one devotee was giving massage to Prabhupada on a terrace, there was one hole somewhere near the roof somewhere, and one bird used to come and it was disturbing, making some sound and trying to enter the hole and digging out things there. So it created some disturbance. So the devotee shooed away that bird, and the bird went away. Again he continued massaging Prabhupada. Again after a few minutes, again the bird comes, again trying to enter that small hole there. So again this devotee sent away the bird. Again after a few minutes, again the bird comes. So this happens for some 2-3 times, and this devotee, he bundled one newspaper roll and very tightly he blocked the entry to that hole. Again the bird came and tried to peck that paper and try to remove all of those things, and finally it couldn't and it went away. Then Prabhupada gave one comment. This foolish bird, it is trying again and again and again to try to enter the hole there. It is not aware of that there is a person standing there who is purposefully trying to avoid the bird in entering that. Whatever the bird may do, there is a person standing here who is more powerful than the bird, who is objecting that bird's entry into that hole. Being unaware of that, again and again and again the bird is trying that. Likewise, living entities, again and again and again, in varieties of ways, they are trying to be happy in this material world. Or in case of devotees also, they are trying to go towards Krishna. But there is this one person standing nearby, known as Maya, who is obstructing this journey of the living entity towards Krishna. That's her assigned duty. Avarnatvika and Prakshat, to bewilder those living entities and pull their legs down, not to allow them to go towards Krishna. So, if we are aware of this, then we will not try somehow to get some happiness or whatever, in varieties of ways, whatever. Again and again Maya will keep pulling us. The only way is surrender to Krishna. Then Krishna will pick us up. So if we understand this simple secret, so a devotee's endeavor should be somehow or the other, yena kena prakarena manaha Krishne niveshayet. Through various facilities made available to us, we should fix our consciousness upon Krishna, always associate with Krishna. Then easily he will be able to overcome Maya. So we'll end with this. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Prema.